So interesting question to that. So I have this weird opinion that dog trainers that are choosing to say, I don't want to work with behavioral cases, unless let's separate like sport dog stuff and like rally obedience and agility. Let's separate all that for a minute. Let's look at just like pet dog training. People that are saying like, oh, I don't work with behavioral stuff, right? I just do obedience training. I feel like that is almost being a little bit oblivious to the fact that everything is behavioral training, right? Like unless you're looking for, like I said, to just go do agility with your dog or go do rally obedience with your dog or just go have fun with them in a new way and stimulate them, people are hiring dog training or dog trainers to either stop some sort of behavioral issue or to avoid running into behavioral issues later on, right? So to eliminate that side of your brain and say, we're not even going to think about the behavioral stuff doesn't allow you to successfully do that. It doesn't allow you to successfully make sure you're setting up that puppy that you're working with for success, where 6 months down the road, 8 months down the road, a year down the road, when they start going through maturity, those fear aggression issues don't start popping up, or that reactivity issue doesn't start presenting itself, et cetera, et cetera. So
yeah. I think it's I think you'll see that with a lot of beginner trainers. And I think it's a natural evolution too. And if it gets too loud, by the way,
you're fine. You're fine.
But I mean, even looking at my journey in the beginning, right, I was very focused on behaviors. Yeah. And when I say that, I mean like commands and obedience and being able to get a dog to sit down, stand, walk nicely, whatever, and very focused on the actual actions of the dog and the animal versus, okay, what is really going on at a deeper level? How can we get the dog to be a willing participant? And that was simply stemming from my lack of experience and knowledge. And like I would YouTube stuff. I had my puppy when I was 19. I learned, okay, cool, I can lure behaviors and make this happen. And I figured out how to fade luring, and now I can just make the dog do on verbal cues. And so I'm a dog trainer, right?
Sure.
And I think a lot of people go through that whole journey. It's
it's like a lack of awareness of like,
I can go back 4 or 5 years and like, give those clients what I can do now. I would do so heartbeat, but it was a natural progression that I had to go through from this cookie cutter solution to really dynamically thinking and addressing each individual dog and client for what they really need. And that's not just monkey see, monkey do. It's being able to actively think and adjust. And so it's I think that for trainers who are in that place right now, those that really love it and love working with dogs, I think will naturally make that next stage come where they now start to think about a lot more than just, okay, I want X behavior to happen, and versus how can I really work at letting the client know how to, really work with this other living being and have an outcome that both parties are happy with. And it's not about obedience, right? It's really about living in harmony together. So, but I totally get what you're saying. And you're right. You can't really separate the two, especially in the pet training world. I say pet training world. I think you can't separate the two in sport world either. But it's especially with your everyday owner, very important to structure things better than that.